Good afternoon. This is Sheila, the PA Doll Lady. And if you're new here, I am a six-figure doll seller on eBay. And I have been doing this for almost 4 years. April is my anniversary that I will have been full-time self-sustaining for the last 3 years. I did it part-time for about a year. And then after that, I proved to myself that I can support myself and jumped ship from a 14-year job and started doing dolls on eBay. I started as an everything seller until I dwindled down to dolls. Today's topic is those phone calls that we get when a doll collection is given to somebody that did not expect to receive that collection. And for some reason, I've said this before, but if you're new here, I highly, highly suggest you, dear collector, do your surviving family members a favor. Please do an Excel sheet, a notebook, a something that it shows the value of your dolls or what you think the value of them dolls are, so that when you're no longer here, those frantic calls don't have to be frantic, or that they can be a little bit more calm, because it's really hard to do business with a broken heart. When we have a broken heart, we can't even think about our next breath. Nonetheless, what your doll's value is, or what your any collectible's value is. You can't think at that time. When you're busy drying your tears, there's not much that you want to think about or that is logical about that time zone for family members or for whoever receives this collection. And for some reason, I've said this before, but I go from having a few dolls and I'm looking and looking for dolls and I can't find dolls, to like they're falling from the sky and I cannot keep up with the collections coming in. And right now, that's how it's starting to look. Just today, I received 3 different phone calls, and it's just... part of me was nervous about going on Facebook and on YouTube and that kind of thing, because I was worried about creating undue hardship for my business. Well, it turns out that the folks are finding me on there, and now we're going in the opposite direction. So I have 3 different states calling right now. I have never palletized a doll collection before, but the collections that are being offered are of such magnitude that I will need trucks to bring them home. And one in particular, I will probably have to get a climate controlled unit because they are on the fragile side of things. I do have an extra trailer where currently I'm storing the stuff that's overpassing my current garage, and that's just very temporary, because this last collection was big, tall dolls, but they're doing pretty good, and I've sold quite a few. I don't have that many more to go, and that last collection is just about done, and I'm pretty much everything's listed. It turned out better than I thought. Thankfully, research of 2 of the dolls that were in there was greatly surprising. And, the universe tends to just reward those that sometimes don't know what they're doing, like me. So anyways, I'm thankful that it turned out very good, this last pickup. Now I have 3 different rotations coming through. 3 different rotations that I'm in talks with. Today just happened to be one of those days where it's like one after another, one after another. The gentleman that I just talked to has a house full of dolls. Not rooms, but a house of dolls. And so we are going to be discussing how to break it down. The overwhelm was so apparent in our conversation. It was a very brief conversation, just testing the waters to see if it's something that I would be interested in doing. I do offer services where I will go in with the person who wants to, if you want to sell them yourself, no problem. I will charge hourly, and then I will go ahead and help you figure out values and that kind of thing. The gentleman was just like, I just need to know what's good and what's not, and you can, we can work out prices from there and that kind of thing. And coming off the last collection where I really did not think I did a good financial decision, I said, I understand what you're saying. I just need you to understand what I'm saying. I will not be driving anymore to any collections or any state away from me unless I have a price that we're talking about. I'm not leaving my home unless there is a price point that we are possibly discussing. I may be thinking $5. You're thinking $5,000. I'm not driving, 5, 6 hours to realize that we are thousands and thousands of dollars apart. So he will be discussing with whoever he's discussing, and then we'll get back to it. I'm a little excited about that one. There are a few in there that I think my collectors would definitely appreciate. And just from this last collection, I mean, all these girls kind of flew out. They were out the door as soon as I was putting them in. Now I've had to reduce the prices on a few items because I don't want to get my space tied up, because I know that there's more collections coming. So I can't hold out for too long on that part, just because I want to make sure that the fresh inventory is coming through for my collectors. The second possibility has 3 different rooms worth of antique dolls, and that one is the one that I am really debating on how we're going to handle the transportation of them. It is quite a few states away, and it's not a collection that we could just throw in bins and bring home. It is more of a lot of bubble wrapping and probably boxing. And I was speaking to my coach, and he kind of showed me how to palletize. So it might be one of those situations where I will have to palletize quite a few to get that collection back to Pennsylvania. Again, my collectors are going to be like over the moon with them. So we are in talks right now, and how it pans out, I'm not sure. And if the numbers work out, I will bring it in for the collectors. And if the numbers don't work out, we're moving on to the next one. I'm no longer buying the stories to the collections. I need the collections to make sure that they fit into my Excel sheet first. And if they don't, then I'm moving on to the next one, unfortunately. I can't save all the dolls. I will save as many as I can, but I cannot save based on the story being sold. It has to be a financial decision. And then the third one that came, that was reaching out today, has some very awesome black dolls that I have I've seen here and there, but not often enough. And I, being a person of color, so obviously I'm like, yes, that is very exciting. Let's go. Let's do this. But that person, for whatever reason, when it comes to buying dolls, nobody wants to give you a price. They want you to tell them how much they think you're worth and how much this and how much that. So again, I said to her, let me know what price point you're thinking, and then we can come, hopefully come to an agreement. And if it works for me, I think my collectors will be very, very happy about these. I have not seen that many black dolls in one collection in a long time. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen that many black dolls in one collection, period. Come to think of it. I've gotten a few different ones. I very much seek those dolls because they're hard to find. And every collection has 1 or 2 token dolls. So to see a few dolls in there Was very excited, very exciting. So we'll see how that pans out. It looks like if I can align these three collections within a few weeks of each other, or um, I may be able to do like a 1,000-mile trip and pick them up one after another, or figure out how to palletize one, then pick up another in a truck, and then pick up the other in a box truck, is what I might end up having to do. And hopefully, well, that will create either some really fun YouTube content or some very sad me crying on the side of the road because I don't know what the heck I'm doing content. You'll have to keep posted for that one because I'm not sure. The collections are all pretty, two of the collections are very, very extensive. The other one is so-so. I could probably drive my car to that one to pick it up. She thinks there's about 50 of them, but she's not 100% sure. So if you want me to drive 8 hours for a collection of 50, you know they have to be absolutely stunning girls, because I'm not leaving my house for something that is mediocre. It has to either be, the quantity of them has to be excellent, or the quality of them has to be, top notch for me to go that far. So we'll see. I am scheduled to head down to Georgia in April. And because I'm heading down to Georgia in April, I might go down the corridor and just start picking up. By the time I get down to my grandson, I may not have any room in my car, but therein lies the rub. So, my dear collectors, if you are still in possession of your collection, do the rest of us a favor and catalog your girls. At least catalog the most expensive ones so that your family kind of knows where to start. Catalog who to call if you're no longer here. Also, the North Carolina Doll Museum just started a series on their channel where it is discussing the legacy of your dolls so that you are what is it called? You're proactive in the way that you're planning how your dolls will live post you. Because honestly, we're all like doll caretakers. We don't own them. We just take care of them for our lifetime or for however long we can take care of them. But they will be here way past our time, and they have been here way, way longer than we ever will be. So just, consider the responsibility of moving your girls forward and start searching to see how you're going to do that. And like I said, the North Carolina Doll Museum has started a series where they are helping folks to think about and be proactive in the way that they are thinking about leaving their doll collections and that kind of thing. So please check them out. They did post their first program on YouTube, and they'll be posting a couple more. They're also on Facebook, so you can find them there as well. You can find me on Facebook as well. I'm PA Doll Lady on Facebook, and there I buy dolls and I, exchange pictures and talk to the people that are calling out frantically about getting these collections that they have no clue what to do with. So think about what do you want from somebody like me when I come into your home? I know that the gentleman said, I don't know where to start. How's that? And I said, well, I've seen rooms full of dolls before. It's not a big deal to me. We will create a 4-box zone in that room, and we will go through it like Speedy Gonzalez and just, yes, keep, go, donate, this, that, and the other. And he sounded a little bit more hopeful after we were about to end the call. And he said, I will give you a call in the next couple days and see where we go from here. And I said, no problem. I can buy or I can help you get ready for whatever. If you want to do an auction, or if you want to do an estate sale, or if you want to do whatever you're going to do, um, we all charge for our expertise. That's the thing. Please don't think that you can call somebody that devotes 20 hours out of the day to figuring out these dolls, and that we can just stop everything to do it free of charge. Like that's impossible. Like you don't expect that from a doctor, so you sure can't expect it from somebody else that's doing small businesses and that kind of thing. So, but I am willing and able to help if that is, something that a space that you find yourself in. And even if you decide, oh, I want to do an estate sale first, I want to do an auction, I want to do whatever. If you need to just square up that room and figure out where do I even start, um, that's something that we can do. And that starts at $75 an hour. So, but many times, if the doll collection is not going to render much money to begin with, um, it's something that we could quickly pick up, and you probably won't even, it's probably something that I would probably say, you know what, I'm going to pass on this one. So you kind of figure out, all right, not quite sure where I'm going with this, but um, there's options out there. It is time intensive. It is a lot of work, and you can't expect the person that's coming in to buy the dolls to give you the eBay money, because the reason that eBay money is there is because you're selling to millions of customers, not one customer. So just things to think about as you get ready to go through a room and figure out which way's up. If you have any questions, you can always email me at SheilaPADollLady.com. You can find me on Facebook at Sheila PA Doll Lady on Facebook. You can message me there, and hopefully you don't have to make decisions with a broken heart and do it alone. Have a good day.